Can everyone hear me? Who wants to hear me and isn't just trying to have a nice quiet coffee? Okay, that's good, thank you. So, hi, I'm Clare. I never in a million years thought I would say these words. My daughter is in prison. She's on remand in a women's prison after she took part in a raid with a group of people with Palestine Action on an Israeli arms factory based in Bristol. This happened 3 weeks ago. So Elbit Systems, it's an Elbit Systems property that Palestine Action raided. This is what Palestine Action does. They go into factories and warehouses, they break in, they smash up weapons, trying to damage the equipment that's been sent and used in Gaza. Elbit Systems is Israel's biggest arms supplier, and they've got facilities all over this country. So the first I knew about this was 4 police officers turning up at my door 3 weeks ago with a search warrant and telling me my daughter is under arrest in a police station in Bristol. Let me tell you about my daughter and how she got to this point. I'm trying not to say her name. I don't want her to be named publicly, but I probably will at some point. If I do, just don't repeat it anywhere public, please. So my daughter, she loves animals, she loves climbing, she loves reading, but I would say her defining quality is her passion for justice. She doesn't have a faith, but I know who put that passion inside her. And when Israel began its latest offensive in Gaza last October, my daughter went on march after march after march, making placards, recruiting friends to join her. When the death toll of children reached only 2,000, if you can remember that far back, she bought a huge white bedsheet from a charity shop and she resolved to write all the names of all the children killed and their ages so far and take it to the next protest. But she never even started. She was so depressed and overwhelmed by the task that she just went back to bed for the whole weekend. And she said, "Mum, it's not working. The marches are not working. The government is not listening." And I believe that was when she started considering direct action. She wanted to do something that would actually work, that would actually make a difference. She wanted to tackle the problem at its source, the places where these deadly weapons are made. She wanted to stop a genocide. So at great personal risk, knowing she would be arrested and possibly go to prison and jeopardise her hard-won place at university, she took this incredibly audacious action with Palestine Action. I've been on a journey about the rights and wrongs of this type of direct action. It seems quite violent to break into a factory or a warehouse and smash things up with sledgehammers. Is this Christian behaviour? Is this what Jesus would do? And what I keep coming back to again and again and again is Jesus in a rage, turning over tables in the temples, making a whip, driving out the animals. And what I keep coming back to is sometimes justice gets angry. And I am proud. I'm proud of my daughter for confronting the evil of genocide so bravely. My daughter has taught me many things I didn't know. For instance, until she got arrested, I'd never heard of Elbit Systems. Who here has heard of Elbit Systems? Well done, you guys, but you're in the minority in this tent. I had not heard of Elbit. Elbit is an Israeli company and Israel's biggest arms manufacturer. The CEO boasts about being the backbone of the Israeli army and its operations in Gaza. They are indispensable, and they churn out weapons week after week after week. It produces, among other things, the deadly drones which terrorise the Palestinian population. It has subsidiaries all over the world, including the UK. Elbit is profiting from the genocide, and the UK government is awarding them contracts to the tunes of hundreds of millions of pounds. Are you okay with that? No. I am really not okay with that. I see Elbit as a huge, repulsive beast, tentacles everywhere, bloated with the blood of innocent Palestinians, being fed with money by our government. And I see the brave young people, like my daughter, who actually take action as George against the dragon, or David against Goliath, or like children with sticks, taking massive personal risk and going in and poking the beast. The Bristol Elbit building, which my daughter broke into, is a high security, state-of-the-art facility, multi-million pound facility. And now Elbit are really angry. They've already had to shut one UK factory down because of Palestine action. So the police response was unprecedented and it was brutal. They held my daughter and 9 others under the Terrorism Act. She was detained in a police station cell in isolation for 7 days. She had no right to make a single phone call. After the 10 were charged, they were refused bail, all of them, and for a further 5 days after being in prison, my daughter was not allowed to make a single phone call still, and some are still waiting to make that first phone call. I have some questions about this. Why are our authorities putting so much resource into protecting an Israeli arms factory from our children instead of shutting it down? Why is it up to our children to uphold international law rather than our government who are breaking it? And why are these activists being treated as terrorists and imprisoned while politicians and arms manufacturers walk free? So if you're wondering what you can do, and we may not all be able or willing to take direct action and put ourselves at risk of arrest, I know I can't, but what we can all do together is expose it. We can expose the beast. Elbit lies, it's lied in court about not manufacturing weapons for Israel in this country. That's not true, it is a lie. We can expose the lies, the violence and the greed. How easily could Elbit operate in this country if everyone knew what they did? So let's make Elbit a byword for genocide, because that's who they are. Let public opinion in this country, like a healthy immune system purging itself of a deadly virus, rise up and reject Elbit from our shores. Finally, how is my daughter getting on after nearly 2 weeks in prison? She's staying strong. She's making friends. Her prison is actually packed with other protesters. All the Just Stop Oil activists are in her prison, and they're all making friends. She's also devouring the political section of the prison library. I don't know why they keep those books in there, but she's reading all of them. But it's tough. The prison is chaotic, it's understaffed. And for instance, they miss delivering her weekly snacks that she pays for every week. And she needs those snacks because the tiny, inadequate prison meals are not going to get her through the day. Sorry, this is really hard to say. She got so hungry last week, she resorted to drinking tomato ketchup. Can you imagine how hard that is for any parent to bear? But praying for her, I feel that prison is the forge where God will shape her for her good. And she'll become strong and she'll come out fighting for justice. I've written a poem. My friends from Red Letter Christians know that I'm prone to writing poems because it helps me process stuff. And this poem's for my daughter, it's called Secret Flame. They've got my red-haired daughter. They've locked her in a cell, trying to silence and contain her. But they don't know her very well. She's been inside before. My secret flame for 9 sweet months. When I used to walk beneath the chestnut trees in Broomfield Park and tell her not to be afraid, I sang, "Be bold, be strong, be courageous, child," not knowing just how much she would take those words to heart. And she burned and kicked and grew until she'd served her time, then lit up the delivery room with her brazen red-haired truth. Make no mistake, in that concrete womb, or maybe it's a forge, she burns and kicks and grows, forming as she's turned over white-hot coals. She makes heart-shaped signs through toughened glass, holds hands through prison fences, hugs pain-racked bodies as they sob, growing in the solidarity of love, burning through the prison library, feasting off her tiny patch of sky, so when the time comes at last to be delivered, she'll set the world on fire. Thank you. If you want to support my daughter and the other imprisoned activists, look up Palestine Action, look up Filton10, hashtag Filton10, or come and talk to me afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Claire.